And now, marine weather around Alaska.
Thank you for joining us today on the marine segment of our broadcast. I'm meteorologist Emily Niebuhr. First, we're going to start off looking at our sea ice edge. As you can see, it's eroded away much across the Chukchi Sea. We still do have some sea ice lingering near Wainwright and Ukjavik, but that continues to erode. So much lower concentrations up to near Kaktovik and Brito Bay. Again, sea ice continues to erode, but we do see kind of a slowing over the next 5 days. Not too much change from the conditions that you are seeing today, according to our Alaska Sea Ice Program forecasters. Let's look at our marine forecast for Friday. Again, we're looking at fairly nice conditions. Waves up to about 3 feet in the interior areas. Winds up to about 15 knots, but again, that can vary in channel terrain, so always travel with caution. But we do see it even as you go out into the Gulf of Alaska, waves up to maybe 4 feet, but winds generally about 15 knots. As we move into Saturday, again, we're fairly weak low pressure system is lingering in the area. So we're not expecting too much change, but slightly bigger waves up to about 4 feet, and winds generally from the north at about 10 knots. As we go into the interior near Ketchikan, we're looking at waves of about 4 knots and 4 feet, and winds up to about 15 knots. Let's look at South Central. Again, weak systems in the area, so fortunately for your weekend marine travel, we're not expecting anything too significant at this moment. We see in Cook Inlet, the waves are going to be going from about 3 feet to about 1 foot up in northern parts of Cook Inlet. So go to Prince William Sound and sheltered areas, we're looking to winds of about 10 knots and waves of about 2 feet. And even as you go out past Prince William Sound into the North Gulf Coast, again, we're looking at winds to about 10 to 15 knots and waves 2 to 3 feet. Similar conditions for your Saturday as well. Slightly higher waves and slightly stronger winds, but still only about 3 feet, and winds about 10 to 15 knots. As we go into the Bristol Bay area for your Friday, we're generally looking at winds of about 15 to 20 knots if you're going into Bristol Bay area. That's associated with a weak trough low pressure system, and waves to about 6 feet in portions of Bristol Bay. South of the Alaska Peninsula and up towards Kodiak Island, we're expecting waves of a little weaker. As we move into Saturday, again, that system's going to be lingering along the coast, so expect waves about 5 to 3 feet on the Bristol Bay area. Winds up to about 25 knots. South of the Alaska Peninsula, we're looking at slightly stronger waves for your Saturday of about 4 feet. Winds up to about 20 knots south of Kodiak Island. As we go towards the Aleutian Chain, again, that system is a little stronger. So as we have that low pressure system come up. So Friday we have waves 8 to 7 feet south of the Aleutian Chain, and waves about 4 to 6 feet across the north of the Aleutian Chain. As we go into your Saturday, that system weakens slightly. So we're still looking at waves up to about 6 feet south of the Aleutian Islands, 4 to 6 feet north of the Aleutian Islands. Winds generally 15 to 20 knots across the area. As we go north towards Bristol Bay and up towards Nome, we're further away from that system. We're expecting waves of 2 to 3 feet, winds of about 10 knots. As we go into Saturday, you can see the swirl of that low, and so we're going to start seeing a little coastal jet develop. So we're going to see winds of about 10 to 25 knots across Bristol Bay, even up to 15 knots towards Nome, and waves generally 5 to 3 feet in the area. And of course, near Pribilof Islands, waves up to about 6 feet and winds 15 knots. As we move towards your Arctic coast, again, we're seeing waves on your Friday about 3 to 4 feet, and up to 2 feet off of Prudhoe Bay. And as we go into Saturday, we're looking at pretty similar conditions, waves up to 4 feet near Gamble, up to about 1 foot off of Point Lay and Wainwright, but winds generally fairly calm for your Saturday. Let's again, a quick review of our low pressure systems and where they're at. So again, this is the trough that's going to be dissipating. And as we move into your Friday, here are some of the frontal system and the low pressure system that's going to be kind of supporting some of those winds across Aleutian Islands.